You go fix that shit? Ready? Put a little fucking tone, cut. Oh, G2 tone.
Are we good this time?
We're good. Are we filming now? It's recording? Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Third try.
Third time's a charm.
Third time.
Never mind that. Never mind that. It happens even at the podcast. See, I was trying to get my sponsor right.
Yeah.
And I dropped it. I was trying to get my sponsor.
Sponsored by
Women's Boxing.
Women's Boxing. Reminder.
This is take 3 for us.
Golly.
Has some technical difficulties.
Been here for fucking 30 minutes already.
I haven't recorded shit. I'm Joe Vargas, by the way. This is the great Magz and Duarte.
This is I.
Or should I say in Spanish?
No, not yet. Next week.
La Magdian.
No, next week.
Duarte. Yeah, so we're talking about fights, and I'm not going to go back into those fights. We're going to talk because we don't have the time. So
I'm over it, man.
We just touched a little bit on the Hernandez fight against Diaz. Hiron Diaz, how, Rocky Hernandez pulled it off. Good fight. It was a good fight. It was on the Zone on Friday, the day before the big fights.
That's fucked up, huh? Like, they don't get no attention, and now we try to fucking talk about it 2
And
times
they still
in a
don't get
row.
no
They
attention.
still don't get
So
no
you guys want to
attention.
see a good fight? Check out Rocky Hernandez versus Hiron Diaz.
Yeah.
That's a good fight.
It's a real good fight. Please do check it out.
So now, we're going to touch on Rayo Valenzuela versus Gary Russel. Antoine.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I was about to say Junior.
Gary Antoine Russell. I didn't pick the fight because of Robert and the team, and out of respect for Rayo, we met. We know the kid's cool. He says hi to us every time we see him. We talk to him. We sparred with him before.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew, and if you look, I thought that Gary Russell was going to pull it off. I didn't think he was going to get a unanimous decision like the way he did. He pretty much pitched a shutout.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't expect that either.
I expected him to win at least 7-5, 6-4, 7-5, 8-4. But this was like 12-0.
I was just waiting for the fight to take a turn at some point, and it never did.
He never had an adjustment for him. I don't know if it was the speed or the pop that just didn't let him work. The constant pressure.
Yeah.
I was talking to Nigel for now because Nigel fought. He fought against Gary Russell Jr. Gary Antoine Russell. Sorry.
Golly.
And we're just talking about how fighters. I feel like Rayo Valenzuela is trying to identify who he is now.
You're trying to figure out, right?
Trying to figure out what fighter he should be, and Antoine is already an established fighter.
Yeah.
He's been fighting like that since I could remember.
Yeah.
I was talking to Coach Bashir today in the morning, and we watched him win his boxing Olympic trials, and we were there in Reno, and we watched him all the way to the finals win. And I just remember thinking, wow, this kid is special. That's why I was high on him. He pretty much had a controlled corner.
Yeah.
Disciplined corner. They were not giving him, there was just one person
brother.
talking, and that's Gary Russell Jr.
Yeah.
And I watched poor Rayo in the corner. He looked like, even his body language, he looked like he was checked out.
Yeah, he looked a little checked out to me too.
And then Gary Antoine was just listening to his bros, though, just whatever they said.
Yeah.
They kept reminding him, and then I just watched Rayo go to the corner, and you see 3 guys talking at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's like, who do you listen to?
Yeah.
They're all saying something. If you pay attention, they're all saying something different.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Something that I noticed about that fight, and I wanted to ask you about it too, is how much do you think, because he's been knocked out by Edwin de los Santos previously, and that was not like, those were some pretty hard shots that he took, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure Panic, that was the first time I think he'd ever been on the canvas or been touched up like that. And to me, it seemed like Panic set in. I saw that same face of Panic. Not that exact same, but I could tell that his mind was going through it when he was like, he just couldn't fucking figure it out. How much do you think it affects, right? A guy who's already been through a knockout like that, how does it affect their future fights when they go into a scenario that they perceive as like, oh my God, I'm there again,
I feel like every time you're fighting, like even in like if you don't think like this, you're not human. But every time you're in a fight, as soon as you throw a punch, you're vulnerable to get hit.
Mm-hmm.
And your mind is like, how hard am I going to get hit?
Yeah.
can I take this fool's power?
Mhm.
That's the first thing somebody does when they touch gloves and they go fight and they feel, okay, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
So obviously there was something he felt that kept him from doing what he had to do.
Right.
He didn't want to engage.
Yeah.
He wanted to engage. And then every time he did shoot a punch, Antoine responded.
He had 3 more.
He had an answer for it.
Yeah.
So I think it was just lingering in the back of his mind. Only he knows what his mind is. I used to say all the time, I wish I can hear the fucking people's thoughts.
Me too.
It would put a different spin on the fight.
I can only observe like what I see, and I saw a similar face. I saw that kid again went back to that.
Fuck.
Yeah,
like, oh,
exactly.
Man, I can't do shit. You know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get knocked out.
Get clipped.
But
interestingly enough, Robert Garcia after the first round asked him, "Hey, ¿cómo sientes su pegada? Like, how do you feel? Like, how do you feel him? Does he hit hard?" And he was like, "No."
Well, they're gonna say that.
Yeah, that's.
They're all gonna say that.
What do you think about that though? Should you be fucking honest?
Honesty,
instead of trying to fucking just swallow it.
I would. What would I struck like in my mind? What can I tell my fighter to change the outcome of the fight? And for me, for having Rayo Valenzuela fighting against Antoine,
yeah,
I would probably tell him, "Mijo, you need to press forward.
Yeah,
don't let this guy walk you down because he's walking you down. He's throwing shots.
Yeah,
and it's better to do that and than him just unloading on all his shots.
Yeah,
and he was not a threat to Antoine at all.
Yeah,
at all.
Yeah, that's true. And kudos to Gary Antoine, man, because I saw a short little interview, the ones that they do in the locker room before they start getting wrapped up and all that stuff. And the guy asked him, what happened that last fight? And he said, "Man, I just deviated from the fucking game plan." And he said, how does that change the outcome of this fight today? He's like, you know what? Whatever the corner tells me to do, that's what I'm going to do. Stay disciplined and stick to the game plan. And it fucking paid dividends, absolutely, for him. And I think that's one of the most important things that a fighter can do is just to trust all the work that you've done in camp and what the corner is asking you to do. Stay disciplined from start to finish, man. That was a theme today for Kyle too in sparring. You stay disciplined from start to finish. Those last 2 rounds, usually guys like in sparring or in the fight, they start to kind of like fall off. But it's gotta be from start to finish, not just in the beginning. Like you always say, it's like how you fight when you're not fresh anymore.
Yeah, everybody fights good when they're fresh.
Yeah,
How you fight when you're exhausted.
Exactly. So,
but yeah, shout out to watching the Russell family get excited and happy about this fight. It was a little overwhelming. I have a story, but
let's go.
Did I say it or
yeah,
no?
Hell yeah, story time.
I had Chris Martin.
Yeah,
we're fighting Gary Russell Jr.
Okay.
Smaller
weight, right?
Smaller weight. I'm not going to go into details. It's a long story.
Yeah,
but I purposely agitated Gary Russell Jr. and his father.
I think I remember in the locker room, right?
In the locker room, I was talking shit and I was fighting with them and arguing with them, and I made Mr. Gary Russell Sr. upset.
Mm-hmm.
I did it on purpose, and Gary Russell Jr. was looking at me like, it don't matter what happens, I'm gonna knock your motherfucking fighter out. And we're arguing about the gloves.
Yeah,
they had our gloves in their bag.
Yeah,
and there was no reason for them to have them. The commission should have had them.
Right.
And as I just found a loophole and I just jumped on it and I started making them all mad.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to get out the locker room. And I was like, I'm not getting out till you wrap his hands.
Yeah.
And I can see them steaming, bro. They were pissed. And we came out in the first round and Gary Russell tried to knock us out. Like he came out to fuck us
Take
up.
Your head.
And at that time, it's in 2014, at the end of the 2014.
Yeah.
And it was, I remember it was in December 2014.
Yeah.
We were it was my last month at the arena. I remember that shit.
Undisputed.
Yeah, Undisputed.
Yeah.
And we probably won 1 round out of 12 rounds. Let me tell you something. Chris Martin, we fought at 122.
Okay.
We met him at 126, to fight him.
Right.
Okay. Once we ended up we went the distance.
Mm-hmm.
We went the distance. We lost to unanimous at the end of the day. Chris got another fight from that fight and a good payday.
Yeah.
And Gary Russell came up to me. He said something like, "You played that one smooth, coach."
Yeah.
And he understood what had happened.
Yeah. It's the game.
But a couple months later, we're at the Nationals in Colorado Springs.
Mm-hmm.
And I see Gary Russell Sr. And I'm like, dude, I wonder if he's pissed or not. So I went up to him and I went to go shake his hand. And he said, he just smirked at me like he wasn't mad.
Yeah.
I said, sir, you guys were like a 45. We're a 22.
Yeah.
I had to do what I had to do to keep my guy from getting knocked out.
Yeah.
And he just looked at me and smiled. He put his hand out and shook my hand.
Yeah.
And he understood that his fighter was way more talented than mine, a bigger weight.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we just didn't get knocked out. Is that what I wanted? No, but at the end of it, we all want to make money in this game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we took a big risk, and we went against Gary Russell Jr., and we went the distance with him, with Chris Martin. And after it was all said and done, a couple months later, me and Gary Russell Sr. shook hands, and it was cool.
And that's it.
And it was cool. It was water under the bridge. I'm not going to talk about what happened, what we said, because that's disrespectful for the man. He's gone.
Yeah.
But we had words, and I apologized to him after that. But this is the sport, man. It's the nature of the sport, So like I said, we're not just podcasters. We've been in there with Gary Russell Jr., been in there with some big names, Berlanga, all kinds of guys,
many
man.
More to come, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Been in camp with a lot of big people. So that being that, congrats to the Russell family for this victory. Watching them win, I could only imagine his father, how proud he would be to have a second world champion in the family,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it seemed like it was very emotional for them. So
and them boys from DC, they be fighting.
Yeah,
and Baltimore. Yeah, those fools fight.
Yeah. You told me that. They take it to you. So
yeah,
exciting. I look forward to seeing him again in the ring. Hopefully.
Who do you want to see him against?
Well, he says he was trying to get that one back with Puello and unify.
Ooh, he'll beat Puello.
Yeah, he'll beat Devin Haney. If Devin Haney stays at 140, you'll give Teofimo Lopez. That's a great fight if Teofimo, because these are the champs at 140.
Yep.
So, hey, either one of those guys.
Gary Russell Jr., I think he just lost to Lomachenko, and that was it, if I remember correctly.
And, yeah.
Somebody else?
I can't remember. He fought not long ago, right? Against him, I can't fucking remember. Motherfucker.
That's the beautiful thing about technology.
Pull up the box rack. The fucking boxing Bible. But, yeah, I really look forward to seeing him again in the ring. I didn't expect that outcome, honestly. I thought that Rayo would pull it off at the end, but you called it for sure. Let's see.
Damn, how many Russells is there? There's 3.
Bunch.
I thought there was 2.
Nah, I think there's another one. There's senior, and then the 2 that box, and then I think they have an older brother.
He has 2 losses. He lost to he lost a technical decision to Mark Magasayo. But before that, he only lost to Loma a majority, so that was really close. Oh, 2, he lost 2 majorities.
Dang. Yeah. 27.
That must be Pops.
Gary Allen Russell the third.
Oh, the third?
Yeah, no, I think that's another son.
Man.
That's so funny. The last. His name is the last. He's the last one.
It's funny. They're all fucking good.
Hey, they're all good.
They're all good. They're all good. All the Russell family.
Hey, you know what? That's very impressive. Shout out to them. It's tough for one to make it, let alone all of them. So that's pretty cool. That's real cool.
So the main event.
The main event, shall we? Golly, the controversy. I think that one's better. Some mystery. How was that knock? How is it not counted a knockdown?
I don't know. I looked up the rules that day. I couldn't find the actual rule book for New York State. I found everything: licensing, penalties, drug testing. I couldn't find the actual rules.
Yeah.
But I fought in New York before many times. I remember clearly when you take a knee in anywhere, it's a knockdown.
Yeah.
Hit or not hit, it's a knockdown. So
where was Floyd fighting when he took that knee?
I want to say it was in New York. I don't know. I don't want to look again. I want to grab my phone again.
Yeah.
That was against
I can't remember who, but his hand. He fucked up his hand.
Yeah.
Took that knee.
But
got an 8 count.
It's funny how the rules apply to B-side fighters or non-popular A-side fighters.
Yeah.
But as soon as a mega star does something, there's always like a fine line. Like the referee counted to 2.
Yeah. And
then waved it off and they said, "Don't go to the corner," yelled at him. Well, here's the funny part. When we work the corners in a fight,
right,
I can't even get up and yell in a moment of excitement.
Yep.
The commission pulls me down. How was the fucking coach able to go in the ring and wipe his fucking sweat off his eyes?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the fight.
The commission don't give a fuck. You do not get up until the bell rings.
So they allow you to go in the ring. Yeah.
Yep. They go in first too.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. I had said that Lamont was going to give him a hell of a fight. People laughed at me. People said, "Oh yeah, coach, I thought you knew boxing."
We got the receipts though. We got that real.
They don't know that Lamont is a stud. That Lamont has paid his dues, and Lamont's
a fucking champion.
He's from DC, bro. Like they go heads up out there, man. He's a fucking champ. He's a smaller champ who looked bigger than
he looked bigger than Tank. He came in heavier than Tank
because he fights at 30.
Yeah, he came in at 135. Tank came in at 133 and some shit, which he always does.
You know, Maggie, that fight was funny because I was at a family gathering.
Yeah.
And I had the phone on my lap.
Yeah.
And I was watching the fight. I was enjoying the fight, and but I couldn't hear it because they had music on in the family function. And I'm watching the fight, and I'm watching the end of the fight, and the unofficial scorecard was always scoring for Tank.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait. I'm watching Roach win.
Yeah.
But the judges are all giving them to. I know it's unofficial and doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But that shows you how you persuade the fans.
Yeah.
That fight was closer than it really was because I thought he won 8-4 at least.
Yeah.
And without the knockdown.
Yeah.
Me and Coach Bashir discussed that today too. Without the knockdown, that should have been a knockdown. The knockdown would have counted. He would have won.
Yeah.
A split.
Yep. Every little fucking thing that Tank was doing, the crowd was going wild. You know, New York. He's not even from there. That's what's funny.
What do you think, Tank? Do you think Tank already has a foot out the door?
I thought before that fight, yes, he has a foot out the door. I think I think that now this might have lit a fire up under his ass because knowing, observing all these interviews, I love to observe these guys' mindsets and shit, and he does not like to be made out to be like a fool. Like his ego, he's got a good ego for the game, you know what I mean? But I think that he doesn't like looking stupid. He doesn't like getting touched.
There's a video. The knock on Tank in the amateurs was if you pressure him, he'll quit.
Yeah.
And there's a fight on YouTube. You guys could look for it. I'll try to find the link. I'm not that good at that shit, but he fights Joet Gonzalez, and he almost quits in the fight. He gets points taken away. And he was notorious for quitting when they would challenge him. Yeah. I almost felt like he was going to quit in that fight for a few instances.
Yeah.
You can see him like second guessing himself.
When he's not getting his way. Yeah.
So, I
have a question for you though, as a result for this. And we kind of briefly touched on it earlier. Is like, do these fighters are they having lackluster performances? And I'm grouping, all these guys at the top, like Shakur, who recently fought too. Are they having lackluster performances, or are people like the media, are they overhyping them, expecting way too much from them, and then when we see the fight, we're like, oh man, he ain't all that? Like, what is it? What do you think it is?
I don't know if it's overhyping. I think that's the promoter's job, to overhype a fighter to get interested in them. So they do overhype them for us. But it's the opponents that they're facing. Like they have easy opponents. They always get easy knockouts, and I'm not saying Russell and Gary Antoine fought easy, but he has 17 knockouts, 17 wins.
Yeah,
and he didn't knock out Rayo. Yeah. He dominated him out. I shouldn't use him as an example, but there's like Gary, like for example, see, and because when I say a name, I see all the haters out there be like, "Oh, you hate that." I don't hate them, dude. I
give me an example.
I love watching fighting just like you guys do.
Yeah,
I love styles. You like styles. I at the end of the day, I respect the guy who pulls it off.
Yeah,
but I think that it's an opponent who's put in front of you. Some fighters deal good with pressure fighters. Some guys do good with guys that move around, and it's just a style matchup.
Yeah.
The style matchup is what allows the fight to be great and exciting.
Right.
Right. It seems like lately they've been hitting.
And I think you're right. Some guys, the movers, they can't deal with movers. Talking about Tank, some of them can't deal with pressure. And some matches are tailor made for them, where they can just fucking don't matter what you do, they're still gonna find a way. But yeah, what a fight! A lot of people are saying that That was Lamont's fight. I'm even hearing that they're trying to overturn that result, that decision, and make it into a loss for Tank. They overturned Ryan's fucking fight against Devin Haney in New York. So anything is possible
in New York.
Yeah.
Fucking. You know, the one thing about Tank is that he's made two guys household names now, Lamont Roach and Pitbull Cruz.
Yep.
He's made both those guys household names. One he prepared for and one he didn't.
Yeah. You know what?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Tank is a star. That's undeniable. You know,
we were just talking about the gate. Yeah, you were talking about the gate.
The second highest gate in that venue behind the Rolling Stones, and the number one highest gate for combat sports, and which was like over 19,000 people. That's not his state. That's not where he's from. You may say that he's fighting fucking nobodies or whatever, but the dude sells. He fucking sells. He puts asses in seats. He's entertaining. Anything he does, any little movement, people are going.
It's because when people know there could be a knockout, they want to see it.
They want to see it. Yeah.
What were you elaborating on earlier about his coach said that he doesn't train him for what?
Oh yeah. I was gonna ask you about what you thought about his corner, right? Calvin Ford. He says. You know, I saw an interview where he said that he trains to punish. He trains to break guys down. He does not train for knockouts.
Yeah.
In this fight, it kind of seemed like he was fucking going for a knockout, but he wasn't the main guy. Calvin was not.
Why was that?
I don't know.
That's the $1 million question right there.
I think they probably don't want to elaborate on it. I don't know. I don't think it's got too much to do with their relationship. I think it's more so probably a personal thing for Calvin Ford. You know, sometimes
he's been there since he was a kid.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird that he was there, but he wasn't the main guy.
And he wrapped his hands.
Yeah.
But I think Barry Hunter was in the corner.
Yeah. It's strange because now you got two guys. He said, well, Tank was like, well, fuck, I get two head coaches in there, but it's like, oh, man, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, in my opinion, you should only have one voice in the corner. You know, when we're in the corner, when we're down watching the fight, we're constantly communicating, hey, look, man, like, he's doing this, he's doing that. And then you get to take all that and you put it, you know, I guess
take charge.
You take charge and you deliver the information the best way that you can for them to understand it.
Yeah.
Instead of having two people, because then you're like, here, you're there. They're already sometimes fucking not listening. You know what I'm saying?
For the most part, they're already having an inner battle with themselves. You know,
exactly.
Like they're like second guessing what we're telling them, and they're just doubting themselves, man. No matter what, you know, it's when you're getting punched with people in the stands and cameras on and lights on.
Yeah.
You ever got in a fight in high school or elementary school?
Everybody's watching.
Everybody's watching. Well, imagine that. Magnify that by videos. Oh, now the kids have to go to the videos. When I was there was no videos.
There was no videos, but everybody said, "Dare you hear motherfucking so-and-so got his ass whooped?" You know.
That was worse than the video, dog.
Exactly.
I didn't get my ass whooped. That's it. I lied. I'm undefeated, homie.
Exactly. Nobody wants to look foolish, man.
Yeah.
You know. So, but yeah, that, you know, those two corners in the co-main and the main, man, it's crazy because these are great coaches, but I think sometimes it's good to just have that one voice, you know. I don't know, but what else we got? I guess
any other questions on there?
Nah, I had something for the Russel fight when we mentioned that he did really good with following instructions, and this is a guy, like you mentioned, 17 knockouts, but he didn't go out there trying to fucking take Rayo's head off. He was just working.
It looked like he was got something off of coach Calvin Ford, like just destroy. Yeah. And all those guys are from like the same area, man. DC, Baltimore, all those little areas. That's
like 40 minutes or 40
miles.
Those
guys are known for fucking. The Barry Hunter's gym is called the Headbangers. Like, they come after you. They come after you. They fight.
Yeah, that's, you know, they're exciting to watch. So I look forward to watching all of them. We'll see if Tank gets that rematch right off the bat. Seems like he already had somebody else lined up, but this kind of skewed that fight away. I don't know who it was. It wasn't Shakur. He said it was somebody who went into his locker room. I don't know who that was. I didn't fucking care to go investigate.
Since everybody's always asking about Shakur, like people, I've always noticed that people defend him a lot on our posts. What is it that you guys like so much about Shakur? Because maybe I'm tripping, maybe I'm not seeing it, but I never thought any of his fights were exciting till this last one.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the Oscar Valdez fight was pretty exciting. But nobody's paying to see him.
Yeah.
Nobody's wanting to fight him. They're not scared of him because you're more scared of a guy who can knock you out. They're probably, it's a business. It's a numbers game. And what are his numbers? You know,
Yeah.
like I like him as a person. He's a good kid, man.
Yeah, he is
He's
a good kid.
dedicated to the sport. He's exciting because people want to see him like go out there and perform. But as far as like people actually being scared of him, I don't think any of these fighters are scared of him. I think they're more scared of like an Antoine Russel or a Matias, even though he's lost. They're more scared to face those guys that can fucking break something when they hit you, you know, not break their own hands.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, like like I said, I don't think anybody's hurt at this level. Nobody's scared of him. I think that they're scared of the numbers.
Yeah.
They're scared of the numbers, bring down their stock. At the end of the day, they got to make the fight that makes the most money for them.
It's like a high risk, low reward situation with him. You know what I mean? You have a bigger name, so it just takes one of these guys to fucking fight him, and we'll see what happens. You know,
Yeah.
Because okay, fuck it, he's had like whatever performances against whatever opponents, but let's see him have a good performance against any one of those guys, Devin. Fucking Ryan. I know those guys are now. It's strange because it's like, who the fuck does he fight? He's at 135.
Who's fighting first?
What do you mean?
When Devin Haney fights.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's a good question because
who's fighting first? Who's coming out first? Who's the
co-main? Huh?
He's still the champion. So who fights first? Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia beat him. Well, I'm sorry, it's a no contest.
Champion. Yeah, he's got the championship.
So who opens up the show? Who brings in more eyes?
Man, imagine Ryan, the only one who's not the champion, because Teofimo's a champion and Devin's a champion.
So who's going to come out first? Who's fighting? Some of you guys might already know.
I think it's Ryan and Rolly. Or you talking about when they fight again?
Yeah, no. When they fight,
when who
that
fights?
card, that
card, yeah.
Who's the first fight of the night, second fight of the night in the main event?
I think Ryan's the main event.
He has to be. He's not the champion, but he's the one that puts asses in the seats.
Yeah. How interesting. It's going to be in Times Square, in the middle of Times Square, and it's free. May 2nd. Yeah.
Who do you guys think should be 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah.
I'll pose you guys that question. Who should fight first, second, and third?
Yeah.
I think Teofimo should open. No, Devin Haney should open the night.
Yeah, and then Theo.
Then Theo, and then Ryan.
How fucking funny.
Who fought last, Theo or Devin?
Teofimo fought... no, what? For real? Teofimo fought who?
It's been a while, huh?
He fought Jermaine Ortiz was his last fight, right?
That's a long time ago. I don't know. I don't want to look again, but but
we need a guy here with the fucking laptop,
with the stats,
man.
with the stats. Yeah, but I don't know. Are they going to do a coin toss? Who comes out first? Who comes out second? Championship fight first? Because Ryan will be fighting 10 rounds?
No, it'll be 12.
Who's he fighting?
Rolly.
For a vacant title? Or Rolly got the title?
Does he?
Did he beat that guy, the older man that he got robbed?
Yeah, but
he lost after that. Yeah.
Pitbull snap. You know, that's just like fucking hot potato now. Gary Anton Russell has it, but this shit's been in everybody's hands now.
I would be more excited to see Gary Anton Russell fight Pitbull.
Yeah.
That's a fucking barn burner.
That's a barn burner for sure. I would love to see that.
I think Gary Antoine Russell would beat Devin Haney. I think that Teofimo will give him a hard fight because of the amateur pedigree and the pedigree he has. I think that
Ryan Garcia would be interesting too.
That's a tough fight because everybody says, "Oh, who do you got to left hook?" Yeah, well,
that's all he got, but it lands. It fucking lands, man. It's a trip. But yeah. I
don't even know if I gave these young ladies a shout out because we did two takes. I
don't remember which one it was.
And one of the takes I gave them, that was the first video.
Was it?
Yeah, because I dropped the water. I want to give the females from
Women's Boxing Network
a shout out, man. Thank you guys for sponsoring us and helping us out. We appreciate you guys. Did they have any events coming up?
Yeah, May 17th. I think but they have something else coming up here soon too. We got to get Producer Adams got to fucking put us up all game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he didn't tell us nothing.
He don't tell us nothing.
He hasn't bought us no Jolly Ranchers either.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
Because last time he bought a bag of Jolly Ranchers, didn't have no grape, but it said it had grape, and I was very upset. I'm still upset right now. You just reminded me. I'm surprised you remembered.
I didn't. I got lucky.
Oh man. Well, I had a subject. I don't know if you want to save it for next time.
What is it?
I put it was a question for you. When should you take time away from fights, if ever? When is a good time to, you know what? Hey, I'm gonna step back for a few months.
You know what, man?
Excluding knockouts.
Fights?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Depending on you said knockouts?
Yeah, excluding knockouts.
I don't think you should ever take time off. I've seen people like the greats.
Yeah.
Like Manny Pacquiao, Mayweather, Canelo, always stay in the gym.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's 3 days a week. I've seen firsthand with Canelo.
Yeah.
And I know that people that know Floyd very well,
yeah.
that tell me that he stays training. Well, he used to fight.
Yeah. I think he still trains a lot.
And Manny Pacquiao, they said he always stayed relevant.
Yeah.
Especially before he found the Lord. He was always training and partying because he had to stay in shape.
I don't know why you make that sound funny, man.
Hey, so one of my boys, to me, he was one of the best amateurs out of San Diego.
Yeah.
Juan Cruz. He was a heavyweight here out of San Diego. He fought like in the era of '96, the Olympic team. He's a good friend of mine, Juan Cruz. He gave you a shout out the other day. He said, "You really know the fucking game."
Oh,
and Juan Cruz fought Lamont Brewster. He fought everybody, man. That guy was a stud, ranked number, like he was in the top of the cream of the crop.
Yeah,
he's actually best friends with Fernando Vargas.
Oh, okay.
And they were really close friends every time. But anyways, Juan Cruz gave you a shout out. I hope you see this. Juan will tag you in this shit. Cool. Noticing it, Juan Cruz was like, to me, he's like the best. To me, he's one of our best amateurs out of San Diego ever. Yeah. He never kept fighting. He didn't turn pro, but he was a fucking stud. I got to see him fight in the blue and gold and shit like that.
Oh, yeah. San Diego, you know what? Man, it's almost that time where one of us fucking comes up and does it big for the city, because there's a lot of good talent here. A lot of good work. We rarely have to go out of city, out of town to fucking get some work, you know? So, yeah, looking forward to that.
On that note, guys, please make sure you guys subscribe, like, comment. Any questions you guys have?
Don't matter. What's our favorite song? Whatever. Don't matter.
Mine is Baby Baby by Justin Bieber. I gotta think of the song.
No, I think you got it right. So now I'm concerned.
Yeah, baby, baby. Or New Kids on the Block. I don't know, anything like that.
Key Sweat.
This has been a Point in Yo production. Yeah, I think the words, but sometimes they don't come out of my mouth no good.